Yeah.
And we're back. Thank you guys for tuning in to Week 5 Free Picks brought to you by Overtime Live Sportsbet Radio. Thank you to our sponsors at TeamSpadesPoker.com and GilbertYoungArt.com. And make sure you guys check out our Facebook group, Overtime Live Sportsbet Radio. You can post your picks, get tips and tricks over there. So coming off of a pretty easy Week 4, I thought. Apparently we ran into some obvious misses, but for the most part, we did pretty well. We actually one-upped our week 3 results, and we only missed 5 games this week. So make sure, if you were to put 1 unit on each pick, we're going to be profiting every week. You know, we've yet to go below 500. We're 4 out of 4 for Thursday night games, and so far it's been a pretty good season. So let's jump into our losses from Week 4. Which were pretty explainable. The first one we missed was that Vikings-Saints game, field goal away. The Saints had a quarterback switch, which we weren't aware of. If I would have known Andy Dalton was playing, it would have been a lock for Minnesota. So we missed that one with a 60-yard field goal that could have took them to overtime. The Saints probably would have won. It's tough to bet on the Saints right now anyway. The next game we missed was the Cleveland game. The Browns came in and fumbled the bag. You know, they still have that great running game, but as far as an everyday over-rounded overall, I should say, team, they're going to be tough to get some games done. I think they're still playing fairly well. They're going to be upsetting some teams, but for that week, the Falcons managed to squeeze it out somehow. Some great field goal kicking, and the Falcons won by 3. We missed that one. The Colts game. Jonathan Taylor was supposed to be the number 1 running back in the league. Has been struggling a little bit this year. He's currently dealing with an injury. He put up 42 yards in this game, and Tennessee just came out and did everything by the book. Got it done. Tannehill had a good game. Derrick Henry had a good game. And they pulled out the win. So a lot of these losses are coming on bad teams, you know. It's easier to pick what's going to happen when good teams play each other or when good teams play bad teams. But when bad teams play bad teams, it's a little bit more up in the air. It's good to just take the home field, which would have worked in this game because Falcons were at home. The Denver game. Wilson, you know, he's struggling a little bit. He finally got back into his routine. He had a rushing touchdown. I think if he runs the ball, or at least has a threat of running the ball, Denver can really benefit. He was the leading rusher in this game with 29 yards, and their starting running back went out with an injury. So we're going to see Melvin Gordon for the rest of the year, which I think is going to help them. I think he's a better running back, more assertive, just more dynamic, has a better chance of getting some receiving yards. But what happened was Josh Jacobs got involved, you know, his first big game of the year, and I think that was a major factor. The Raiders pretty much blew them out. I mean, they beat them by 9 points. But once again, 2 mediocre bad teams. You take that home team. Raiders got it done at home. And we missed the Packers game. We had the Packers minus 11. They only won by 3. I think they had a lot of chances to cover that spread, especially with the Patriots' injury woes. You know, they're down to their 3rd-string quarterback. But for it to go in overtime and them to win by 3 shows you problem with the Packers is probably a coaching issue, not necessarily a secondary defensive problem while they're giving up so many points. So we missed 5 games, and that's not too bad. 11 out of 16 is profitable. You bet 1 unit on each game. As long as you stay above 500, you'll profit some. So we're going into Week 5. Week 5 is going to be interesting. A lot of teams are really showing their true form, showing their potential. And it kicks off with the Thursday night game. So Thursday night game is going to be Colts against the Broncos. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor out. I think that really helps the Broncos. Broncos are getting better every week. We saw a nice fantasy performance from Russell Wilson. He put up the 30 points. And I think that Jerry Jeudy's coming around with the running back switch. think it's going to benefit him with Melvin Gordon. And Matt Ryan's Matt Ryan. He's going to throw some picks. This Broncos defense is going to get to the quarterback. Bradley Chubb's probably going to have a few sacks this week. So for the first game, we're going to take Broncos money line. I'm not sure what the spread opened up at, but currently Broncos are still favored, and they're at home. And it's hard to play in Mile High. So we're going to take Broncos money line for the Thursday night game. We're actually undefeated in Thursday night games, so we're going to try to keep that streak alive. Next game is going to be the Packers. The Packers are going in to face the Giants. They're at home. Benefits them a lot. They're giving up 8. We're going to give up the 8 points. They're 12th in the league in the run defense, so they might be able to slow down Saquon. It's going to be a tough task, but I think that their quarterback situation, plus a few injuries, slow scoring offense from the Green Bay, from both of them, but definitely the Giants. I think Green Bay can get this done. Bears had 3 fumbles lost in last week's loss against the Giants. So, Giants got some help last week to get it done, to keep that record looking positive. But Jones and Lazard both had 100 yards last week. And if they can do that again, they're going to get this done. I think they can win by 10. Last week we gave up the 11 points and didn't cover. We won by 3. We only won by 3 in overtime. So Green Bay is obviously not the best team, but I think they're a better team than the Giants. So we're going to take Green Bay, -8. The next game is going to be the Bills. The Bills are coming in tough. They're Steelers are only scoring 18 points a game. So Bills at home. Najee's been struggling. Najee's got 200 yards on the year, but Mitchell Trubisky is the biggest factor in this matchup because he's really just not good. He's got 2 touchdowns on the year, and I don't think he has enough talent to really help them. They're actually got 1 win on the season so far, so Buffalo -14 is a big spread, but I think that they can get that done. I think Steelers are worse than their 1-3 record looks like. So we'll take Buffalo -14. Next game's going to be Chargers going to the Browns. Browns are at home, playing well, great running game. Brissett's been playing consistent. Chargers are allowing 109 yards per game, which isn't bad, but it's not good. But they're allowing 27 points per game, which is bad. So it's going to be a tough pick. We're going to take the Chargers money line. Keenan Allen and Myles Garrett are both questionable, so those are 2 big parts of each team. If the Browns don't have any pass rushing on Herbert, I think Herbert has a great game. Going on the road, I'm going to take the Chargers money line. And Eckler's been hot with his 3 touchdown performance last week. I think he keeps up the momentum, and they start playing better. Next game, Chicago. We're going to take Chicago +7. Dalvin Cook has been struggling. Minnesota is very inconsistent. Bears are scoring 16 points a game, but they're only allowing 19. So Minnesota allows 276 passing yards a game. And I think that if Chicago's passing game ever has a chance to shine, this might be it. Plus the +7 coming from being the underdog really helps. I guess that's because they're on the road. So we're going to take Bears +7. It's a borderline upset game. I think Bears can get it done money line. So after that, we're going to look at this Dallas game. Dallas against the Rams. Dallas is getting 4.5. Decent sized spread. Rams are at home, and Cooper Rush has been playing great. CeeDee Lamb is really coming into form from the season. Stafford's just been struggling so bad, man. He's got 6 interceptions on the season. That Monday night game, which hurt me in multiple ways, was just a statement on how many problems they have. He's trying to force the ball to Cooper Kupp, and it's just not. It shouldn't be that way. Other teams obviously are already ready for you to force the ball to Cooper Kupp. LA is doing 68 yards per game rushing. They have to get the running game involved. And the 261 passing on defense lets you know that their secondary is very exposable. So I think Cooper Rush comes in there, CeeDee Lamb, even the running backs. I think he's going to be throwing to the running backs a lot. And I think that Dallas gets this done. Plus 4.5 is just, icing on the cake. The next game is Arizona. Arizona +5 is our pick. They're very good against the rush. Arizona is. They seem like they're struggling. It seems like it's just a Kyler Murray team. But Arizona's allowing 26 points per game. So that's way too much. It's not going to get the job done. And we're going to take Arizona. They might not win the game, but they definitely, with that +5 points, can cover that spread. So for that game, we're going to take the Arizona Cardinals. Eagles, obviously, the only undefeated team left in the league. Exceptional defense, great running game. Decent wide receiver core, but they keep their games pretty close. So I think Arizona shows up at home and covers the spread. Next, we got Burrow. We got Cincinnati going in. We're going to take Cincinnati +3. Cincinnati's just got way more weapons. They're allowing 17 points per game, which is not bad at all. It's actually really good. And they're only allowing 85 rushing yards per game. So Cincinnati plus the 3 on the road against the Ravens. I mean, Lamar still may be MVP, but that team is not built to win any playoff game. So Cincinnati +3 is going to be our pick. The Chiefs -7. We're going to give up the 7 points against the Raiders. That's a tough pick because the spread's so large, we can't money line it. But the Chiefs are clearly the best offense in football. We saw what they did to Tampa Bay, which has a really, really good defense. And Mahomes has only thrown 2 interceptions on the year. Chiefs are at home. And the Chiefs are scoring 32 points a game. I mean, they are allowing almost 300 yards a game passing. So I expect Derek Carr to have a big performance. This might be the Chiefs' second loss of the year. So this is a very tough pick, but Chiefs are scoring so fast and vigorously that I think that they jump out in front and that Oakland starts making mistakes and that the Chiefs get this done at home. So we're going to take the Chiefs -7. Next game on the schedule, the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions are our pick +3. Mac Jones is hurt. Jacoby Brissett's hurt. Amon-Ra and Swift are hurt. So it's almost like a coin flip. Detroit is a better offense. I mean, Belichick's obviously got the coaching advantage. Detroit's not looking real bad, but they are averaging 35 points per game scored and allowed. So 35 points per game allowed is really going to be hard to beat. You're going to have to put up 40 points to win. And the Patriots are only scoring 18 points per game. So obviously an offensive problem up there in New England. Hawkinson's been hot. Goff's actually the 4th ranked quarterback in the league, putting up 280 yards a game. So we're going to take Detroit +3. After that, we got Seattle Seahawks. Seattle dominates in all the positional matchups against the Saints. Saints are obviously struggling in more ways than one. No coaching, health injury problems, quarterback situations. So Seattle definitely wins at the quarterback, defense, running back, and wide receiver matchups. So for them to be on the road getting 5.5, we're going to have to take that 5.5, take Seattle +5.5. The Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are coming in. Teddy Bridgewater is a great quarterback. You know, he should be starting somewhere. And when you have a wide receiver core like Hill and Waddle, I think that the yards are going to get there. Zach Wilson's trash. If they start Zach Wilson, they have a good chance of losing no matter what. So as long as Zach Wilson's on the field, the Jets will lose. And both teams are under 90 yards rushing per game. So rushing is going to be the deciding factor in this because obviously Dolphins win in the pass game. But I don't know. It's going to be a tough pick. The Jets have a lot of talent, but I think their problem resides in play calling, which is coaching, and their quarterback situation. So we're going to take Dolphins money line in that. Tampa Bay -9. Atlanta, obviously one of the worst teams in the league. Tampa Bay was dealing with some injuries. I don't know how much they've recovered from them. They still have one of the better pass defenses and defenses overall. Atlanta, last week they went after Cordarrelle Patterson went out, which for a long time, he's going to be out for a while. Atlanta had 3 different running backs for 10 carries. They couldn't get it done. Tampa Bay is only producing 65 yards per game rushing. So as you can slow down that Tampa Bay passing offense, you have a chance to beat them. -8.5 is almost a lot, but I think Tampa Bay blows them out, especially after that big loss against Kansas City, where they put up 20 points and could have won the game. But Tampa Bay is only allowing 17 points per game, so there's a good reason why Tampa Bay should win that game. After that, we got Tennessee. Tennessee against Washington. Wentz is terrible. He's got 5 interceptions on the season. Derrick Henry and Tannehill looked good last week, but they're actually equal in points per game scored. They're both scoring about 18 points per game, but Tennessee's actually allowing 25. So luckily, they're playing a bad team. I'm going to take Tennessee. This is almost a lock. Washington looks like one of those teams that's really just going to have a bad season right now. After that, we got Houston Texans. The Houston Texans are getting 7 points, so we're going to take all 7 of that. Jacksonville's scoring 26 points per game. Houston's only scoring 18. And I think that 7 points is really going to come into play in this game. We saw a lot out of Jacksonville so far this season. Obviously, a great defense. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence has been what we expected out of him. Last week's performance was unbelievable with the 4 fumbles turned over, 5 turnovers overall. So we're going to take Houston plus 7 in that game. After that, we got the San Francisco-Carolina game. We've been flip-flopping back and forth. We ended up with Carolina. Carolina defense is hungry. Garoppolo's got a chip on his shoulder, and Debo's a beast. But that Carolina plus 7, they're not running the ball well, even though they have Christian McCaffrey. San Francisco really dominates in yards on defense and offense in this matchup. But somehow I feel Carolina gets this done. I think that McCaffrey has a big game, and that's it. That's all there is to it, really. I think that McCaffrey has a big game. I think Baker Mayfield just does just enough, and San Fran coming off of that big game. This will be a test for San Fran. We're going to really see how good they are. Panthers are playing at home, which is a big advantage. I want to see Kittle get involved. We saw Debo, but I want to see Kittle get involved. I want to see what Garoppolo's really capable of. He had I would say, subpar performance, but he was good enough to get it done against the terrible Rams on Monday night. So after that, I think that might be it for the week. Is it that quick? All right. So I guess that's going to wrap it up. Thought we had more games. So thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Tune in next week. We're going to try to get even closer to 80-90% on picks. And may all your bets be live, and good luck to you.